All right, so we're here to cook some sardines. I wanted to talk about something. Is it gone? Oh no. The idea that like playing an MMO solo. I think it's a conversation that comes up like all the time and will probably be coming up whenever I play this game because it's just a constant thing that we're gonna have to be talking about. Yeah, this kind of this idea of like if you're playing an MMO, you have to be playing with people. I think that's a little silly. You can play an MMO and play it however you want to play it. Because sort of the beauty of an MMO is like being in a large world and getting to be a part of it. Like, and I think there's a certain level of, at least for me, a certain level of chillness that comes to playing an MMO. A certain level of like, it's kind of always there, it's persistent, and I think because of the nature of the games, the combat isn't like insanely difficult. Like I look at RuneScape, I look at WoW, Final Fantasy 14, kind of the big MMOs that are around. And the combat isn't insanely difficult, at least for me. And I think some of the fun of those games is that like, I mean, they can get difficult later. So you sort of have this like almost like a simple framework, but eventually as you get deeper and deeper and deeper into this game, it's gonna evolve in complexity to the point where it's gonna become way more difficult to play. And I find it to be really fun. That's a really fun way to like play, because at first you're kind of like chilling, right? Like at first you're just like you're clicking on stuff, not much happening, but then it hits a point later on where the game really shines. This relaxationness is like it's built in because originally these games were made to be kind of where you hung out. Like there wasn't like Facebook, there wasn't WhatsApp, there wasn't Discord. You had RuneScape, you had WoW, you had EverQuest, and the games are built with this pacing. Because as you're doing this, you're typing to your friends. It's built so you don't have to. It's built so you can have chances to talk to your friends or talk to people you just met. And that's the multiplayer aspect of these games. Obviously, there's like questing together, there's doing activities together, but a lot of the pacing of these games is built this way because they were built to be chat rooms with eventually a game attached to it. But because we've now moved on past that point, these games have taken on a new meaning. Like for me, I play WoW and I play RuneScape and I play Final Fantasy 14 basically because I want to play a very chill sort of game that I get to be a part of a big world, and there's lots to do, lots to get lost in, like lots to walk around in, and as other people are also walking around and having their own adventures in the world. So, you know, when people say, like, oh, why are you playing a multiplayer game single player? It's like, well, the way they intended this to be played doesn't happen anymore because it is now 2026. If anything, this point gets more prevalent the longer away it is. This point will hit harder in 10 years, 20 years, right? It's like, you know, the longer this game lives, the more it's like, well, this isn't the time period for which the game was made. It was made before all this stuff was around. So you gotta have to kind of accept that like the way you first played RuneScape 20 years ago is not the way that is going to be played today, and that people play games the way that they want to play them, regardless of whatever the original design intention was. It's now different. The game's different now, but the way we interact with it is different. So for me, someone who, I know I'm streaming on Twitch, this probably is very weird for me to say, but someone who's pretty averse to like interactivity in a game, I'm like, wow, because there's people around that like I could, depending on what happens, I could ask them for help and talk to them, but it's way more likely to just, they're just kind of there, just it's like and I guess a good example is like, you ever go to a coffee shop, whether it's a Starbucks or if you're based, you go to an indie coffee house, and there's people in there working on their laptops. Now most of these people don't need to be working there. Most of these people likely have a home, though there's a chance that someone might not, because you don't necessarily have to be homeless to be poor. You could just be homeless and have enough money to buy like a laptop and clothes and other things, but not have enough money to like spend however much it takes to pay rent nowadays. But that's a different point. But the people who are there, they likely don't have to be there for the most part. But people go to coffee shops. I'm one of them, to work on either schoolwork, their book, other work they have to do, because it just feels good to be around other people, even if you're not directly interacting with them, because humans by nature are very sociable creatures. We crave society, we crave togetherness, we crave the presence of other people, even if we don't necessarily want to be directly interacting with those people. So what's fun for me playing a game like RuneScape, WoW, Final Fantasy, whatever, is seeing other people are also having fun and also doing their own things while I'm doing my own thing. It's just like going to a coffee shop to work on something, even though you could have, made coffee at home. It's easy to make coffee at home. You just buy a coffee machine, buy some cold brew, get some milk. It's easy in a way, but I think that people understandably want to be near people, even if we're not gonna talk. That's my 2 cents on it, though. I also think that if you're like me coming into this game in 2026, there's not a lot of new players starting out questing together. That's kind of why I like that this game is, you can always start whenever you want and jump in and do whatever you want. But there's a certain interestingness to WoW's, I was pretty annoyed about this, actually, when they took off Burning Crusade the last time, because I had started playing it with a friend, but we didn't have a lot of time to play together. And then it hit a point where we just didn't have time, and then we would play once a month maybe. So we were still so early level in the game. We both were playing undead characters. We had fun. And then I get a point where they moved on to Wrath of the Lich King, and then it moved on to Cataclysm, and it's fuck, well, we've lost the game we were trying to play, and it sucks. But I think that now that they do these rollouts where basically everyone can jump in, because now there's gonna be I'm guessing a whole kind of how EverQuest does it, where everyone jumps in at the same time to play it. And then everyone kind of goes through the questing, how the DLCs or the expansion packs came out in the day. Now people can go through that today, and everyone's generally doing the same content. Whereas a game like this, most people playing it have played it. Have played it for years, and they have level 99 skill capes and everything, and they're not the server just launched and people haven't been able to play it for a long time, and now they can, and now they're jumping in and we're all doing the questing together. It's I'm not gonna bump into many new, I don't ever see any people around my level. I'm gonna be so for real. I don't see people around my level. I see people in the 50s and the 100s. I don't see anybody around whatever I am, which I think is a 15. I think I'm level 15, 16. Yeah. And I'm assuming that's my level. I don't know, but I think that's my level. But I don't see people near my level anymore. I saw people when I was on Tutorial Island, and then once I left Tutorial Island, there was no more people. They all fucked off and did whatever they meant to go do, which is likely they were bots farming for another account. But that's beside the point. So yeah, to say oh, you should be playing this game with, why are you solidifying yourself as being solo? It's well, there's not a lot of other people.